What is going on, gamers? It's your boy Daily Tactics here, and today we find ourselves on the beaches of D-Day once more in the new update for Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. But this time, the German army is defending against a very interesting enemy that should be coming off of these LCVP Higgins boats right now, and that's going to be the Medieval Army faction. That's right, we got heavy knights, we got footmen, we got archers all coming out of these boats and doing a large-scale D-Day beach invasion against the German defenses. It should be awesome. We actually have 6 million of these soldiers coming up against 180,000 German soldiers. The Germans do have access to some Sherman tanks because I felt as though they needed a little bit of artillery power, so maybe they intercepted like a Lend-Lease boat or something like that from the Americans and yoinked a few Sherman tanks, or maybe they were sent over from Africa, captured German or American tanks from Africa. I don't know. Either way, until there's a Tiger tank in this game, which, God, I hope they add a Tiger tank, we're going to have to be utilizing some of these Shermans every once in a while. Either way, this should be an awesome battle. If you guys do enjoy it, please be sure to hit that like button. It helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're working our way towards 500K. And comment down below if you'd like to see some more. Let's get into it. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Alright, the medieval soldiers are approaching rapidly here. They are taking losses right off the rip. That's some weird glitch with this map. I don't know entirely why they take losses right off the bat when attacking forces are on this map. It must be some sort of entity cramming or something like that. Something's killing them. I don't know why, I don't know how, but either way, that tends to happen. So that is always a bonus point for the defenders, and that's why I tend to actually give the attackers a few more soldiers than I normally would in these battles, because they're gonna have, like, you know, a quarter of their force die from entity cramming anyway. Either way, tons and tons of these medieval soldiers are coming forward. It seems like most of these are footmen right now. I'm not seeing too many heavy knights in the mix. Actually, I'm not seeing any heavy knights. Oh, there's a heavy knight right there. Yeah, so most of these are just standard footmen, and of course they have very little health. These are not the 1 health footmen that we use on the Rioter videos that we do. These are the full-on footmen. I think they have like 100 to 200 health under their belt, something like that. But the heavy knights are so much stronger than them. It's unbelievable. The heavy knights have like 500 health, something like that, and yeah, they pack a much meaner punch as well. So most of these footmen should be going down, but the heavy knights probably have a much better opportunity of actually making it to the German lines in general. Either way, you can see that Sherman fire going out there. Let's watch the Sherman's fire a little bit too. Yeah, there you go. There's some good Sherman fire, making some big explosions in the medieval lines, keeping them at bay a good bit, and then of course the small arms fire is of course helping as well here, making sure that these heavy knights are staying at bay for a solid chunk of time here. You gotta love it. They are reaching them. But they die just about when they do reach them. It looks like a couple of swings have gone in on these German soldiers as they're kind of getting bloodied over here, but nothing too crazy, you know. Very, very few swings at that. Are there any dead? Yeah, there's actually 500 dead Germans at this point in time, and that number is actually increasing a good bit. I wonder where they're getting all these kills from. There must be like a position in the line where more heavy knights are managing to get to them or something, or maybe it's just across the entire thing they're doing decently now. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, 1,000 kills now on the German soldiers right there, but 260,000 dead medieval soldiers. The medieval army is obviously taking a lot of pain right now. They are dealing with just mass incoming bullet fire from this semi-modern World War II faction. Woo, baby! I mean, in terms of being modern, World War II is a lot sooner than, you know, the medieval ages, so it is what it is, dude. It is what it is. But medieval factions actually down to 5.2 million from their starting 6 million, so clearly a lot of them also have died due to entity cramming or whatever the heck is going on with that. So it's not just the Germans getting 370,000 kills, another, 300,000 kills or so was done by the world or whatever. Right now, 3,000 Germans have died, so it's about like, what, 100 kills per German soldier? That's kind of insane. That is kind of nutty right there. They're doing absolutely fantastic on this battlefield. Why don't we go ahead and do our first time lapse of the video, and we'll sort of get the Shermans in here, we'll get the Germans in front of them, and then of course the medieval soldiers coming off of those Higgin boats right in front of them. Remember, at the top right is all of the numbers. I keep that on during the time lapses, so if you want to check in on how each side is doing, it's just at the top right up there. Team 1 is the Germans, Team 2 are the medieval army. So let's go ahead and get into this time lapse, baby. Alright, boys, so at this point, I mean, it looks like they're holding back the medieval army here, but apparently the medieval army has gotten 66,000 kills, and I think that's because the Shermans are in this vicinity, but then where the Shermans really aren't an equation, the medieval soldiers have completely broken through, such as over here, where they're just now starting to assault the top of these hills up here and these bunkers where the Germans are hiding out and defending. So we've got heavy knights coming all the way up here. Lots of them end up sliding back down the mountain from whence they came. But at the very least, they're leading these assaults, and they're hopefully getting a few German kills here as they go in this medieval D-Day charge. Things are looking better for the medieval soldiers now for sure, as they're creeping up on 75,000 kills now. The Germans only having 100,000 soldiers left alive at this point in time. Not a lot, considering that there are 2.8 million medieval soldiers coming at them. These guys are just like phasing through the bunkers. The bunkers need a little bit better programming in this game. You can't even like look through them. It just glitches you right to the top. Okay. And then also we've got medieval soldiers coming around this way too and eating away at these German lines. These guys are falling real fast. That is no bueno in the slightest for the Germans right there. At the very least though, where the Shermans are, I mean, they're doing well. The Shermans are doing great, but the problem is that, once this German line right here that's back up this way on these sandbags, once these guys all end up going down, and they probably will, to be honest, then these Shermans are going to be very, very flankable. Oh, actually, no, there's the hillside defense right there in these bunkers. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, maybe the Sherman defense is exactly what we need here, and the Germans can hold out for a longer period of time over this way with these Shermans still alive on the battlefield. Of course, the archers for the medieval army are taking bites into the Shermans here, hitting them bit by bit. It doesn't do a lot of damage to the Sherman armor, but it does something at the very least and whittles away at them, so that could be a promising thing for the medieval army for sure. But at the same time, there's a reason that these German soldiers in front of the Shermans are still alive. It's because those Shermans are just packing a mean punch and doing great things. We also do have some water over here. I keep getting demonetized when we mention what this actually is. So this red water. No, that's too much. Pink water. This is pink water, guys. The pink water right here is pooling up, which can result in increased losses for the medieval army as they cross over it. They can become so sluggish from drinking too much pink water that they fall over, and they have a tummy ache. That sounds brand friendly. Either way, yeah, that is happening right there, and that's kind of interesting to see. We do have that experimental mode on. Oh, and it's happening in some other places too over here. Probably won't get too deep because the craters here aren't that large for it to get too deep, but I don't know, you never know. Sometimes they can surprise us and do bigger things than we would have thought, so there's that going for them as well. Either way, why don't we go ahead and do another time lapse right here, and this time we'll like sort of face the medieval soldiers charging forward. I think that'll be kind of cool to see, and we can see if these German lines in the middle hold or not with the Shermans backing them up from behind. So this match has definitely gotten competitive here. All of the German soldiers in front of the Shermans are now dead. The Shermans are hanging in there. I think that's just because they have some excellent armor and they can, you know, afford to sit there for a little bit chilling, fighting knights on their lonesome. There are still Germans up above them fighting away, but they themselves are getting swarmed pretty badly now by this medieval army here. The medieval soldiers getting in there, taking big swings at these Germans and chopping them to absolute bits, boys. Right now, there are 950,000 medieval soldiers left alive. That means 5 million of them have died up to this point. That's a lot of deaths. That's a heck of a lot, man. But there's only 32,000 Germans left alive. So the Germans really have to be, going overtime here to end up winning this thing. It's very good that they still have Shermans left alive because these things, well, they're very important at this point in time. They are very important because their standard army troopers here, the Wehrmacht army, if you will, is not exactly cutting it. They need that Sherman support to end up actually getting the kill shots that they need. There are some big holdouts up here on these hillsides for the Wehrmacht, and these guys up here will hopefully be alive for a while longer, or else it's basically over for the German soldiers and the medieval army wins. The medieval army is coming around the flank from up this way and targeting the German soldiers from behind, so that will soon happen to these guys as well over here, and that'll be a whole nother problem. But it's coming down to the wire if the Germans are going to be able to win this thing or not. Like I said, well, now there's 900,000 medieval soldiers left alive and 30,000 Germans left alive. Germans, they got to step it up, baby. They got to start racking them up and getting some big points out there for this victory to come through for them. And if they don't, then they're going to take the L. But this is a very competitive match. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It's way more competitive than I initially thought it would be. So this is kind of hype. I like it when a game turns out to be a bit more even than you would have initially thought. Either way, let's do one last time lapse for this battle, and let's watch these German soldiers way up here, firing downward and stuff like that, and we can watch them eventually. The flank should come through pretty soon, so we'll be watching that, as well as the Shermans down below fighting away. It'll be kind of interesting. We can see a lot of the different sides of the battle here at this point. And the German army here just didn't have the legs to get the victory, it seems. They're about to get finally crushed here just like in real D-Day. Beautiful. It's like poetry. It rhymes. Either way, there's just, how many? 2,100 Germans left alive. They're defending this little bunker area here. The Heavy Knights are closing in on all sides here to take them out and finally get the Dubski against these pesky Germans and their Atlantic Wall. Now, that being said, the Germans did destroy a massive portion of this medieval army. I mean, they clobbered them. They really did a number on these guys. I mean, they themselves got 3 million kills and another, 2.25 million died from the Higgins boats and stuff like that. So there's only 750,000 of these medieval soldiers left alive. It ended up being a really, really close game. I think if the Shermans could have held on for like just a little bit longer, then the German army might have been able to do this thing, man. I mean, that would have been absolutely impeccable if they had managed to do it. But the medieval knights, they showed their finesse. They managed to finagle a victory out of this thing, and I'm pretty impressed. I mean, swords and bows and arrows versus guns. It is ultimately a pretty impressive feat here that they managed to pull off. And there we go, the official Dubski right there. Beautifully done by the medieval forces. Either way, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did. Subscribe if you have not already. And comment down below if you'd like to see some more in the future. Either way, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.